30 kilometers southeast of Yerevan is the village of Garni, known to many tourists. Near the village there is a gorge of the same name, paved by the Azat River. The river, fertile lands and convenient for defense relief made this area attractive for people in ancient times. It was first settled in the 3rd millennium BC. Later, the kingdom of Urartu was located on this territory, and the fortification in Garni served as a summer residence of Armenian royal dynasties. In the 1st century AD, an ancient temple was built here, destroyed by an earthquake in the 17th century and rebuilt from the ruins. In the 1970s, it is called the easternmost building of the Greco-Roman world. It is the only well-preserved Hellenistic structure in the territory of the former USSR. Another 7 kilometers to the southeast is the Geghard Monastery, founded in the 8th century. It is the medieval monastery and the ancient temple that attract the most tourists. But the extraordinary gorge, located right under the Temple of Garni, deserves no less attention. Nature lovers will also be interested in Khosrov Reserve on the other side of the gorge. There are juniper and oak forests, preserved since the 3rd century, as well as many endemic plants. The territory of the reserve is only 1% of the area of Armenia, but about half of all plant species of Armenia and 1/3 of the flora of the Caucasus can be found in this area of forests and steppes. Description: the Garni Gorge with the Azat River gurgling between the rocks is attractive in itself, but one part of it is especially remarkable. It is a place several kilometers long, where the array of walls consists of countless basalt columns tightly pressed against each other. The narrow pillars rise to a height of 50 meters. They have a regular 5 and hexagonal shape, and it is hard to believe that these structures formed by themselves. In some places, the lower part of the columns, the upper one, was destroyed by the river, but the upper one has been preserved. Rows of shortened pillars overhang from above, as if violating the law of universal gravity. In some places the stones are crumbling and pose a danger. In such places special signs have been installed. The basalt columns resemble the pipes of a giant organ. That is why the attraction has a folk name, basalt organ or stone organ. But the official name is more elegant, Symphony of Stones. It takes about an hour to see the Symphony of Stones. At the same time, you can see a 10-meter long and 5-meter high bridge made of the same stone. It was originally built between the 11th and 12th centuries, but in 2013 it was reconstructed and now it looks like new. The bridge can be used to cross the river to Khosrov State Reserve. The Symphony of Stones was formed by a powerful volcanic eruption about 40 million years ago. Lava flowed down the mountain slopes, quickly cooled and crystallized. The result was a geologic formation called a columnar detachment. This is not a unique phenomenon. Such natural columns are found in different countries, from Scotland and the USA to South Korea and Australia. Recently, they have even been discovered on Mars. Still, it is a rarity that always attracts attention and becomes a landmark. In ancient times, legends about bridges and roads built by supernatural beings were associated with such objects. Columnar separateness is most often formed in basaltic rocks, which have the ability to self-organize into regular structures. They usually have 5 to 6 faces, but can have 3, 4, or 7. The width of the pillars varies from a few centimeters to 3 meters. The height can reach 30 m. Symphony of Stones is one of the best examples of columnar detachment because its columns are very tall and level. And next to it, there is a rushing river and UNESCO-protected architectural monuments. In Russia, this phenomenon can be observed on the island of Kunashir and the Puturana Plateau, but it is easier to get to the village of Garni. The most famous examples in other countries. How old is the Temple of Garni? Fortress Resort. The temple was dedicated to Mjur, whom the Armenians considered the sun god. It is located in the fortress of Garni, which was begun 2,200 years ago and constantly improved until the Middle Ages. Where did Christianity come from in Armenia? Christianity appeared in Armenia in the 1st century AD when, according to tradition, the apostles of Jesus Christ Thaddeus and Bartholomew preached in the country. The latter are considered to be the founders of the Armenian Apostolic Church. Christianity appeared in Armenia in the 1st century AD when, according to tradition, Jesus' apostles preached in the country. Thaddeus and Bartholomew, the latter considered to be the founders of the Armenian Apostolic Church. In the early 4th century, the traditional date is 301. King Tiridates III proclaimed Christianity as the state religion. Thus Armenia became the first Christian state in the world. Who were Armenians before Christianity? Before Christianity, Armenians were pagans and worshipped various deities. The Garni Temple is a unique monument of that period, which is definitely worth a visit during a trip to Armenia. Gregory the Illuminator played a major role in the adoption of Christianity in Armenia. The first state to adopt Christianity as a state religion was Great Armenia in 301 AD. This was due to the efforts of Saint Gregory the Illuminator and King Tiridates III the Great. Although Christianity spread to other regions, such as the Roman Empire, Armenia became the first state where Christianity was officially recognized and became the state religion. This event had a significant impact on Armenia's history and culture. Considered the first Christian temple in the world. The Echmidzin Cathedral in Armenia, built in the early 4th century, 301 to 303, is considered to be the earliest Christian temple in the world. It was erected shortly after the adoption of Christianity as the state religion in Armenia. You know that Garni and Geghard is one of the most famous tourist destinations in Armenia? The valley is cut into the contact between the lavas of the Garni flow and the sedimentary rocks of the Cretaceous and Paleogene of the Uranos Ridge. Along the valley, tall 4 to 6 col, more often hexagonal, basalt columns are clearly visible. Columnar separateness. The valley is cut into the contact between lavas of the Garni flow and sedimentary rocks of the Cretaceous and Paleogene of the Uranos Ridge. Symphony of stones, also known as basalt organ, was formed by volcanic activity. Volcanic lava flowing into the Azat River gorge and slowly cooling, crystallized to form hexagonal and pentagonal basalt columns. This high-pressure process led to the formation of a unique structure, resembling the pipes of an organ. Volcanic origin. Symphony of stones is the result of a volcanic eruption that occurred about 40 million years ago. Columnar separation. The slow cooling of the lava has led to the formation of a columnar separation, i.e. separation into individual pillars. The pillars are mostly hexagonal in shape and reach a height of about 50 meters. Symphony of stones, basalt organ. Symphony of stones is represented by huge hexagonal and pentagonal basalt columns, almost 50 m high, which seem man-made with their amazing symmetry. Nature has created columns overhanging the river, which create an impression of a huge musical instrument. Basalt organ. The Azat River flows through the gorge, complementing the stone's splendor with the sound of water. This place is one of the most popular tourist sites in the country. Symphony of Stones is included in the list of natural monuments, and hence is legally protected. Garni Temple. At the top of the gorge is the Garni Temple, the temple of the pagan god Mir. In ancient Armenian mythology, the god of the sun, heavenly light, and justice, most often depicted fighting against the bull, darkness. Garni Temple. At the top of the gorge is the pagan temple of Garni, the temple of the pagan god Mir. In ancient Armenian mythology, the god of the sun, heavenly light, and justice, most often depicted during the fight against the bull, darkness. Garni Temple, the only surviving monument in Armenia dating back to the era of paganism and one of the brightest testimonies of the centuries-old culture of the pre-Christian period of Armenia. Geghard Monastery occupies a special place in Armenian rock architecture. The northern cliff adjoining the main church includes a multi-level ensemble. In the upper part, there are two small churches and a narthex.